Hi friends, today we are going to discuss Advanced Bank Management, Unit 1, Fundamentals of Economics, Microeconomics and Macroeconomics and Types of Economics. Here, economics is nothing but production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Here, in economics, we studies how these goods and services are produced, how these goods and services are distributed, how these goods and services are consumed. Microeconomics. Micro means small in Greek. So, microeconomics means small economics. Here in this small economics, we have individuals, household, and firms. Here, how these individuals and households behaves in decision making and how these individuals and households and firms allocate their resources in order to produce the goods and services. This is nothing but microeconomics. Macroeconomics. Macro means in Greek large. Macroeconomy means large economy. Here, in large economy, we studies about the mainly regional economy, national economy, and global economy. Macroeconomics means behavior and performance of economy as a whole. Here regional economy means we are studying the behavior and performance of entire region, and here national economy means we are studying the behavior and performance of entire nation, and global economy means we are studying the behavior and performance of global economy as a whole. So such type of economies are called macroeconomics. Here in macroeconomics we studies the big terms such as unemployment, growth rate, GDP, and inflation. These terms are mentioned in macroeconomics. Now we will discuss about the types of economies. These types of economies are mentioned in this chapter. We will discuss there. Economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Here, economics is a science and which studies the human behavior in relationship between ends. Ends is nothing but the desires and scarce. Scarce is nothing but resources. This is nothing but desires. Scarce is nothing but resources. Here, economics is nothing but it is a science and which studies the human behavior which which has a relationship between the human desires as well as the resources, and every resource has a alternative uses. For example, if we take the water, we use water for drinking, we use water for farming, and we use water to put up the fire. The essence of economics is to acknowledge the reality of scarcity, then figure out how to organize society in a way which produces the most efficient use of resources. Here, the most important thing of economy is we have to realize the scarcity. Scarcity means resources are very limited, and we have to organize the society, we have to manage the society, we have to organize the society in order to use the efficient use of these resources. Adam Smith is the father of modern economics. The modern economics father is Adam Smith. Why we call Adam Smith is a father of modern economy means here he described about the free market, and he described about the assembly line production, as well as he described about the GDP. These terms are most important in the modern economy. That's why Adam Smith is called as a father of modern economy. An inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations is written by Adam Smith. The above book, An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations, this book is written by Adam Smith. Economics is the study of how wealth is produced and consumed. Here, economics is nothing but it is mainly studies about the how wealth is created. Here, in economics, wealth is nothing but production of goods and services. How these goods and services are produced is mainly studied, and how these goods and services are consumed are studied in economy. Smith definition is known as wealth definition, he gave more importance to wealth than to man for whose use wealth is produced. Here, Smith has given the wealth definition and he has given the more importance to the wealth and he given less importance to the humans. Here, wealth is nothing but production of goods and services. Welfare definition is coined by Professor Alfred Marshall. He described economics as a science of human welfare. Here, the Professor Alfred Marshall coined welfare definition. He describes about the welfare definitions and he told that economy is nothing but human welfare. Here, in economy, we produces the goods and services. These goods and services are used by the humans. Here, the humans use these goods and services in order to live in a comfortable life. Scarcity definition is coined by Professor Leonel Robbins. Leonel Robbins has given definition of scarcity. Scarcity is nothing but limited resources. If we uses the resources in a proper way, then resources are available for a long period, and if we waste the resources will disappear very soon. For the best example, we used to see save petrol ad by the government in television channels. Here the government is asking us to save the petrol and don't waste the petrol because the petrol is limited resources. If we waste the petrol will disappear very soon. Professor Leonel Robbins defines economics as study of means and ends. Here, Professor Leonel Robbins he described about the economy that it is nothing but study of means and ends. Means are nothing but resources and ends is nothing but wants and desires and needs of human. Man has unlimited wants means everybody want so many things in their life. The means to satisfy human wants are limited. Means already we have discussed it is the resources. Everybody want so many things in their life, but we are unable to fulfill their dreams because resources are very limited. Resources are not only limited but have alternate uses. Every resources is limited as well as every resources has an alternative use. For example, if we take the water, we use the water for drinking purpose and farming purpose. Man has to make the choice. So depending on the resources, depending on the need, the man has to make choice. Adam Smith is considered to be the founder of the field microeconomics. The microeconomics is founded by Adam Smith. Microeconomics is concerned with the behavior of individuals and entities such as market, firms, households. Here in microeconomics, we mainly studies about the markets, firms, and household behavior in decision making, in allocating of resources in order to produce the goods and services. Economics is a branch of economics that deals with the performance, structure, and behavior of a national or regional economy as a whole and concerned with the overall performance of the economy. Here, economy has two categories, two branches. One is microeconomy, another one is macroeconomy. Here, in macroeconomy, we studies about the national and regional economy as a whole, and we deals with the performance and structure and behavior of this national economy as well as performance, structure and behavior of the regional economy. Of the field of macroeconomics is John Maynard Keynes. John Maynard Keynes founded the macroeconomics. This is the photo of John Maynard Keynes. John Maynard Keynes wrote the book General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. He has written a book. The book name is called General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. An analysis of causes of business cycles is developed by Mr. Keynes. Here, business cycles is nothing but a rise or fall in the production of goods and services. Here, these causes of rise in the fall in the goods and services studied by Mr. Keynes. The market economy or capital economy is one which individuals and private firms make the major decisions about the production and consumption. Here, in market economy, there is no government interference. Here, the only individuals or private firms make the decision depending on the demand and price. If demand and price is if the demand is high and if the price is high, they increase the production. If the demand is low, the price is low, they decrease the production. These decisions are taken by private firms as well as individuals. There is no government interference. Such type of economy is called market economy, capital economy. This economy is there in United Kingdom and Europe and America. A command economy or socialist economy is one which the government makes all important decisions about production and distribution. Here, the production decision and distribution decision is taken by entirely government. There is no interference of private firms and individuals. Such type of economy is called command economy and socialist economy. This economy exists in China. Here, the only government take the decisions. Mixed economy is where public sector, private sector, and joint sector coexist and complement each other. Here in mixed economy, the production and supply of goods and services are determined by the government, that is nothing but public sector as well as private sector. Here in mixed economy, we have the public sector enterprises, we have private sector enterprises, and we have the combination of public and private sector enterprises. Best example is India. Laissez-faire economy is the extreme case of a market economy. Laissez-faire means there is no government interference in the economy. Only the individuals as well as private companies take any decision whatever they want to do in the economy. So this is the extreme case of market economy. Unit 2, Supply and Demand. The theory of supply and demand shows how consumer preferences determine consumer demand for commodities, while business costs determine the supply of commodities. Here, there is a theory called supply demand theory. Here in supply demand theory, the consumer preferences, if the consumer preferences increases, there is an increase in demand. If the consumer preferences decreases, there is a decrease for the demand. Business cost. Business cost is nothing but the cost incurred for the producer in order to produce the goods. If business cost increases, there is a decrease in supply of commodities. If the business cost decreases, there is a increase in supply of commodities. The relationship that exists between price and quantity bought is called as the demand schedule or the demand curve. The quantity demanded increases with the fall in the price. Here, there is a relationship between the price and the quantity bought. That relationship is nothing but demand schedule or demand curve. Here, the quantity demanded increases with the fall in price. Means, if for example, if we take the onions, here if the onions rate 150 per kg, we take only 1 kg. If the onion rate decreases, if the price decreases, here we demand more onions, we take 5 kgs of onions. Here if the price increases, there is a less demand, and if the price decreases, there is a more demand. This is nothing but the quantity demanded increases with the fall in the price. Quantity and price are inversely related. Here already we have discussed onions. If the onions rate increases, we offer only less quantity. If the onions rate decreases, we offer only more quantity. So here the price and the quantity are inversely proportional. Means if the price rate increases, the quantity decreases. If the price rate decreases, the quantity increases. So these are inversely related. Here one diagram is there. Quantity we represented on x-axis, the price represented on y-axis. Here whenever we are going like this, the quantity increases. Whenever we are going like this on y-axis, the price increases. Means price is here low. Whenever we are going like this, here the price is high. Price is low here and price is high here. Whenever we are moving upwards, the price increases. Here the quantity is low here. Whenever we are moving towards right, the quantity increases. Here, for example, if we take any point here, here the price is high, and this is the quantity. Here the quantity is here up to here only. So here quantity is low. So price is high and quantity is low. So price and quantity are inversely proportional. So the demand curve is always a sloping curve. Whenever the price is high, demand is low. Whenever the price is low, the demand is high. The graphical representation of demand schedule is called the demand curve. So whenever we represent the demand schedule on graph, that is nothing but demand curve. Law of downward sloping demand: when the prices of a commodity rise and the other things being constant, the buyer tends to buy less of the commodity. Similarly, whenever the price is lowered, the other things being constant, the quantity demanded increases. Here it is nothing but, if we take same example, onions, if the price is high, if the price is 150 per kg, we demand only less quantity. So we take only one quantity, 1 kg, then we use less onions. If the onions price decreases, means for example 20 rupees per kg, then we take more onions. So there is a more demand for the onions. We use onions in every curry. So the price is low, there is a more demand. If the price is high, there is a less demand. Market demand curve obey the law of downward sloping demand. Here we already seen the diagram of demand curve. Demand curve is like this. So it is nothing but downward sloping demand. A downward sloping demand curve relates quantity demanded to price. Already we have seen the demand curve, it is nothing but like this. So it is nothing but downward sloping demand curve. Here it has the relationship between the price and quantity. The factors influence the demand curve. There are so many factors that influences the demand curve, that is nothing but average levels of incomes. For example, if the average level of income increases, there is an increase in the demand. If the average level of income decreases, there is a decrease in demand. If we have more money, we buy more goods. If we have less money, we buy less goods. The size of market population: if the more people are there, there is a increase in the demand. If the less people are there, there is a decrease in the demand. The prices and availability of related goods: for example, if we take the Sprite and Thumbs Up, these are nothing but related goods. If the Sprite rate increases, the Sprite demand decreases, and the people prefers Thumbs Up, so Thumbs Up demand increases. Taste and preferences: if the consumer preferences changes, then the demand for the goods also changes. The consumer preferences towards the goods increases, then the increase in the demand for the good. The consumer preferences towards the good decreases, then there is a decrease in the demand for the goods. There are special influence, government policies, technologies, all things influence on the demand curve. The supply of schedule relates the quantity supplied of a goods to its market price, other things being constant. Here one market price is there. For that market price, How much quantity of goods we supplied is nothing but supply schedule. Here the other factors are remain constant. Here the price is on y-axis and the quantity is on x-axis. Here this is the supply curve. This is nothing but supply schedule or supply curve. Here, for example, if the price increases, the supply is also increases. If the price decreases, the supply is also decreases. If the quantity increases, then supply is also increases. If the quantity decreases, then supply is also decreases. I will tell you with one example. If we take one vada pav seller, he is selling vada pavs at the rupees 10. If the one person came to him and asked the vada pavs, one vada pav for 12 rupees, then what he will do? He will increase the supplies. He will make more vada pavs. So that is nothing but he will increase the vada pavs. Here if the price increases, then the supply increases. Similarly, if the person, this vada pav person got more orders, means he sells only 100 vada pavs in a day, then he got an order of 1000 rupees vada pavs per day. Then what will vada pav seller do? He will increase the supply. He will produce more vada pavs and he will sell the vada pavs. That is nothing but here the quantity is demanded, quantity is increasing. So here then the vada pav seller increase the supply. That is nothing but production. Shifts in supply means when changes in factors other than goods own price affect the quantity supplied. Here the goods price is constant, it is not changing, but other factors are changing. So these other factors may affect on the quantity we supply. The supply schedule or supply curve for a commodity shows the relationship between its market price and the amount of that commodity those producers is willing to produce and sell, other things being constant. Supply schedule is nothing but there is a market price. For this market price, how much quantity the seller want to produce and sell whenever other things are constant. That is nothing but supply schedule. Forces behind the supply curve: cost of production, prices of input and technological advances, government policy, prices of related goods, special factors like weather influence on farming and agro industry. Here there are so many factors that influences on supply curve. For example, cost of production. If the cost of production increases, then the supply decreases. Prices of inputs and technological advances. If the prices of inputs and technological advances increases, then the supply decreases. Government policy. For example, government has banned plastic. So here the plastic supply decreases. Prices of related goods. Here the related good prices also affect on the supply. For example, if we take example of coffee and tea, this coffee price effect on the tea supply as well as tea price effect on the coffee supply. Special factors like weather influence on farming and agro industries. Here weather influences on the farming as well as the agro industries. If we take any company which is related to the agriculture, agro related companies, if the agriculture production decreases, then the supply of agro related products decreases. If the increases in the agriculture production, then there may be increases in the agriculture related company. Supply increases when the amount supplied increases at each market price. Here, this is supply curve. Here we have price on y-axis, quantity is on x-axis. At any point, this is nothing but market price. Here, this is nothing but market price. Here, at any market price, the supply is increasing. Here, the supply is increasing because we are increasing the supply. Supply and demand interacts to produce equilibrium price and quantity or market equilibrium. Here we have supply. In supply side we have seller, and here we have demand side we have buyer. Here the seller and buyer interacts each other. That is nothing but interaction between supply and demand, and the buyer and seller interact each other, and they come to one point where the seller want to sell some quantity at some price, and the buyer want to buy same quantity at same price. That is nothing but market equilibrium or equilibrium price and quantity. Market equilibrium comes at the price and quantity where the forces of supply and demand are in balances. Here on supply side we have seller, on demand side we have buyer. Here the seller want to sell some quantity at some price, and the buyer want to buy same quantity and the same price. Here the demand equals to supply. So here this is point is nothing but market equilibrium. In market equilibrium, demand equals to supply. At the market equilibrium price, the amount that buyer want to buy is just equals to the amount that seller want to sell. In market equilibrium, the seller want to sell at some price and the buyer want to buy at some price. These both prices are equal. Market equilibrium comes at the price at which the quantity demanded and equals to the quantity supplier. Here the seller want to sell, for example, 100 quantity. If the buyer want to buy same 100 quantity, that is nothing but the buyer quantity demanded equals to the seller quantity supplied. The equilibrium price is also called as the market clearing price. Here market clearing price is nothing but equilibrium price. Here we have diagram. The price is on y-axis and the quantity is on x-axis. This is the demand curve and this is the supply curve. Here the demand and supply intersect at one point. This point is nothing but equilibrium point, and this point we call it as also market clearing price. Okay, thank you friends. Friends, your like and subscription increases confidence in me. If you comment your feedback in comment section, that will helpful to me to improve my classes. Thank you.